So my experience with the virus, I actually had, I guess, a mild case of the virus. The only issues I had were nausea, diarrhea, sore throat. It almost just felt like a really bad sinus infection. I'd wake up, my throat and nose would be sore. I'd be coughing sometimes, not much, just because of the sore throat. And then it felt like I had drainage and congestion. I never ran fever. I never had any problems breathing per se. There are a couple times where it got a little bit hard, but it felt like I had a lot of chest congestion, but nothing more serious than, like I said, a normal sinus infection for me.
I had every symptom that they ask you about when you go to the doctor. I had the chills, the fever, even though my fever only got to 101. I had the upset stomach, nausea, coughing, just horrible cough. I ached, my hips, my knees just ached so bad. I had a severe headache, the tightness of the chest, and the no taste and no smell, which was the worst part. If you've never been able to taste or smell, it's crazy.
My symptom was chill. I didn't know when I had the chill that my fever was so high. I believe one time my fever was like 104. And it must stay like that for about a week. Man, I was out of it. Because I know I was out of it because when I came home, I was telling my grandson, I said, man, I was in the hospital for a few hours a couple of days ago. He said, Granddaddy, that was last week. So now I'm talking about how I lose time. Somewhere down the line, I lost some time. So I probably was in the hospital longer than I thought I was because I was happy, with the 104 fever, man, you just out of it, kind of lose it.
It started with the nausea, real severe nausea, and then the muscle aches and all, and then just feeling bad. And then with the fever, then a headache started. And then it became like a migraine headache that, I couldn't get away. Because of the nausea and that, I didn't want to eat. So I ended up not eating for, trying to just taking fluids all the time, but I ended up not eating for over a week. And all I wanted to do was sleep, and I lost all my lower body strength. It was really difficult for me to walk at first.
I started getting a really bad sore throat. I mean, like a sore throat like I've never had before. I mean, it was like I couldn't sleep at night. It was so painful. Worn out and tired. And then I noticed I couldn't smell anymore. And I told Jeff, something's wrong. Even though I was very upset and worried because I was afraid I might give it to somebody else, who might not have as easy a time as I did.
COVID is a very bad respiratory disease from what I've heard. I was lucky enough to be able to catch a mild strain and not be able to spread it to my family. So, I mean, I'm just glad that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because I've known people that have caught it and had to be hospitalized. I just wish people would realize that not everyone survives this.
And then I had this fear. I'm fixing to have to go to the hospital. I'm going to have to be on a ventilator. Because they've just said that's what would happen, and so I just feared that the entire time. And I still do. I still have the tightness of the chest, and I think, should I call my doctor? I'm still coughing real bad. Should I call my doctor? Is she going to make me go to the hospital? Am I going to come home from the hospital? And that's just a horrible feeling.
The worst anxiety I ever had in my life, because my life was at stake, man. Come on. Everybody that was what I could watch TV had COVID. And quite naturally, you think about death in life. You think about where you've been, where you are, and what's happening from here out. And I didn't see no rainbow. I didn't see no green light for a moment. I couldn't see me coming out of this. But
I've had other flu viruses and respiratory viruses, but I've never experienced anything like this COVID virus. I don't think I've ever had to be down and can't get up and move like what this virus did. And in fact, I'm still not 100%.
Well, you never know how your body's going to react. I mean, it's like nobody knows. I mean, you have healthy 40-year-olds with no prior symptom, any conditions that could cause them to have problems, and they're like dying with it. So you never really know